Okay, next up, we have James and Jan. I saw these guys earlier, so I know they're here. They're going to take us through a discussion of how social impact gaming and digital anthropology can unleash empathetic data at scale. And this word empathy just keeps coming up through the day to day, from setting up a compelling vision and being change agents through to empathetic leadership. And tell us more about empathetic data here.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, empathy is for sure the big topic. So
yeah, thank you.
Go ahead, Jan.
No, I just wanted to say thank you, Kelly, also. And it was so nice to hear actually another Jan. I'm living in the US, and this is such a rare name, specifically spelled the right way, or pronounced the right way. So I was always like, oh, am I on already? So that's great.
I thought the same thing.
Shout out to Jan. Wonderful. James, here you go. Please kick it off.
Well, thank you for having us. We appreciate the ICOM conference so much. The insights, to hear everybody's opinions and thoughts and ideas. It's inspiring, and it's amazing to be among you guys. So I think what we wanted to kind of kick off is Jan has founded a really interesting company, and we'll have Jan talk a little bit about social impact gaming, what it is. And then we've talked about digital anthropology before, but I'll just remind everybody what that field of science is. And then we're going to dig into how that kind of interaction can really create some powerful data and a new way of looking at things. So Jan, what is social impact gaming, this One Earth Rising you've built?
Well, thank you. Yeah, so a brief introduction to One Earth Rising. So my name Jan Roessner. I'm originally from Germany, as probably everybody can tell by now. The idea came up actually when I was running a marketing agency, and what we wanted to use was video games as a tool to connect people to brands. That was the initial thought here, and really the way that we wanted to do that is that the brands are telling their stories through visual experiences, interactive experiences. So we kicked that off. Our first client became, out of coincidence, the animal rights organization PETA, and with no additional marketing efforts, we actually reached 69 countries, 2.2 million downloads, an average in-game time of 15 minutes, 50, and 7 million shares, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, etc. So it just showed me as a marketer, like, wow, what is this? And although I played video games before, I didn't really dive into the demographic session, the setup, the revenue. So the video game industry is the largest entertainment industry in the world, very much outscaling the movie and the music industry combined. And so with that, we have a huge set of opportunity, and a huge opportunity in itself to reach a tremendous amount of people, and specifically also tremendous amount of people by reaching them through emotions. So when you play a game, or even if you just watch a movie, so for us, games are the logical progression from being a viewer to an actor. So you're actually living through the emotions there. You're living through the content that has been created for you. And the better that we create that, the better we can tap into the emotions and also create change in the world. So One Earth Rising is the founder of the Purposeverse, and with that, a platform of change through interactive experiences using different parts, and social impact gaming is one of that. Different tools that we want to give the players in this case, and really from the comfort of their home, playing a game which then has an impact in the world by multiple different ways, either donating to a nonprofit, which is the easiest way, elevating the cause of the nonprofit, but further down the road, really just playing, and I will dive deeper into this, playing a game, and then something good happens on the other side. And
right. So we'll get into some behavioral change you're after, right, in order to do some things. So we get that we're going to dig into that. So I just want to remind, so digital anthropology is really after the why people behave that way. And it's a branch of science that is using more of a qualitative aspects of ethnography and computational ethnography to really understand why people behave a certain way. Data science is amazing at finding what they did, when they did it, where they did it. But protecting privacy digital anthropology is protecting privacy by doing it as groups of people rather than an individual. So how does that digital village behave? And so we'll dig in also a little bit more about that empathetic data to know why they're behaving. So back to this social impact gaming, this empathy gaming. here you have this context. I know you're working with MasterCard on one of them. And what is this? Why is this important for a cultural shift to think of gaming that it could have something of a social impact and not just entertainment?
Well, it is a mode of storytelling, right? So storytelling, obviously, beginning in the ancient times, sitting around the fire, just telling somebody else a story that you heard of, and then just progressing from there. So video games are the exact same thing. If you think of a movie that has been created for you, it's some sort of a storytelling experience, and that experience has been created for you from the beginning and the end. What is so exciting about the actual environment of a video game is that you're tapping into the same storytelling mode. But while you're progressing, you're writing your own story. So there's different paths, different decision paths. So it's not all planned out. You're actually thinking, and some of these decisions might be emotionally based, and some of them just reactional. But the emotional part, that's where we can actually start to change behavioral patterns in the best way possible, of course. Meaning, so I give the example of an anti-poaching game. So what people love in the gaming world is to be the bad guy. That's totally fine. Everybody probably here knows Grand Theft Auto. That's where the basis is, and everybody plays the bad guy. And that's good in a digital environment. But better do it there than do it outside in the real world. So if you're having a anti-poaching game, what comes to mind there is that you should allow the players also to be the poacher. And if you decide you want to shoot an elephant, that's totally fine in the gameplay. But rest assured that there will be a baby cub running out of the bushes, crying for its mother, and it will destroy your heart, and you will never think about touching any ivory or any elephant shooting exercises anymore. So this will change it. And that's what we see with emotions that we can inflict or that we can create and alter in the video game environment.
So in a way, this is why you're building this empathy, because you're showing the behavior, the impact that a behavior, negative or positive behavior, is creating.
Exactly. Again, when you watch a movie, you see some person doing something, and that already can crush you. I mean, there's multiple examples of movies that are just so impactful. But if you make this decision yourself as a player, guiding or controlling a character in a video game, then this just triple to 10 times the emotions are inflicted onto you, because you just feel it so much. It's your decision, and you will be shown the outcome.
Right. Now, just to get deeper onto the data side. So obviously it's normal for your platform to use big data to analyze the effectiveness and teach you back to how you're building the games and what the audiences you're reaching. How do you see digital anthropology and its qualitative data influencing the way that you're building these games, or the clients who are hiring you to create these games?
Yeah, I think that will be a leap forward, a quantum leap forward. If we manage to properly quantify the effect that an action in a game has on the psyche and the emotions of a player, then we can just create the most amazing games, obviously, that have a positive outcome. Obviously, there's always a dark side to that too, right? So let's stay on the light side here. So the beautiful part is that we can let me give you an example. We are working with a partner now on this tree planting project. So one of our games, it's a simulation game close to an Animal Crossing game called Paraiso Island on PlayStation. And you are planting trees on this island just to create your environment. It's just normal process there. So keep in mind also the games are designed to just be fun first. We don't want to be the educational game in our industry. That's a swear word, so we have to be careful. It's always players first. It needs to be fun. It needs to be engaging. And so when you're planting these trees, for example, with our partners that we bring in on board, these partners will be exposed to the players and say, brand XYZ, congratulate you for planting this tree. And then at a certain threshold, we say, okay, 10,000 trees have been planted digitally in the game. Now partner X comes in and plants 10,000 trees in real life. Now every minute now spent in this game is a new tree planted on this earth. That's what we want to create, impactful through that's the impact that we want to create. And so just imagine if we could measure the emotional effect it has on a person playing somewhere in rural Detroit, knowing that this action in the game now led to a new tree planted in some other part of the world, or just in the neighborhood maybe. That's a real effect that we would love to measure.
That's incredible. Yeah, because then I guess as you start getting in, and that's the divergence. Obviously, that's why we're talking, you and I, about what we can accomplish, because big data is tremendous in helping you analyze what was going on in the game, but to build different games, to understand what other types of impact you could make, understanding the behavior has really can give you a broader way of even embedding the different techniques in the game, right? When you bring back, okay, this worked, but how might you see you because again, I don't fully understand how you go ahead and design and build these games, but there would be some feedback loop as you understand why they're behaving this way, of what you would add new features into the game or new simulations in the game.
I think, it's almost like I hate to draw this comparison, but I think it makes most sense. It's almost like a test with a lab rat, so to speak. And what I mean with that is, if you have a positive stimulus that comes out, people would like to repeat that. If you have a negative stimulus, then you might do it another one. You might, and then you're getting sad through that. So it's not really what we are thriving for. So see people returning, coming back to the positive stimulus and really wanting to be kind of like wrapped into this blanket of wonderful emotions. I think that is a way how we can see what we need to double down on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
And it's not, it's a challenging world specifically. This is why I'm so excited of our worlds colliding and bringing this together and finding the best way how, emotional data and gameplay and storytelling can be combined.
Yeah, because I could see it. Maybe we could even brainstorm a little bit, just, riff on this idea of how it might influence your design, the combining of big and thick data, how that different mindsets, the way you look at big data, the way the kind of science that looks at thick data or this ethnography style data, how that might influence design or how you iterate your games.
It would be definitely from the beginning, right? So we would need to, in the future now, work with data scientists like yourself together and really specifically from the digital anthropology side to decide more on the game design side. And we do this in a specific way already when the way we approach our game design is not that we create something in a bunker or in a dark chamber and then we put it out and hope it sticks. We rather look, because we produce and we create this social impact gaming environment, we look at communities and we look at the communities with a microscope to see what kind of content is missing there and what would resonate with that community and would help also that community. That's what we then create for them. So I think, that's a first step in the right direction, but yes, with your help, I believe we can take this way, way further. I believe we have also one hand raising here.
Oh, yes. Okay, I didn't see that.
Here we go.
Akrif?
Is it our chef? Ashraf? Here we go.
Yeah, it's Ashraf. Yeah, and thank
Nice
you very much. It's really an amazing topic. It's really a pleasure to meet you. I guess I'm curious to know about what sort of measurement can be used to quantify the impact of immersive social impact gaming elements on the long term, like on a realistic scenario. And if I may ask another question, would it be possible to synergize this new media interactive approach with other traditional media channels such as TV advertising or out of home advertising or other stuff? And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ashraf. This is a good question. I believe one piece to answer your last question first. That's definitely possible. From our perspective, it's more possible with an interactive solution. So we, for example, we just launched our first Twitch live stream, which is around climate change and things like that. And so here you have an interactive back and forth between the players and between the viewers, right? Because otherwise, if you're just watching an ad, you don't actually know who's watching. It's almost like putting out a billboard there. So, but if there's interactivity in there and you emphasize that interactive outreach, then I think that's definitely possible. To your first question, data points will definitely be just for now in the real life to see, okay, how many trees have been planted, to take an example like that, how much has that influenced the environment and the community there. And then with the help of people like James, hopefully we get more into the emotion side of people.
Yeah, and thank you for the question. We're going to obviously we got 15 seconds, and we're going to slide into the breakout room. We take a lot of questions because we'd love to get into that robust discussion about the types of data, privacy, not digital observation, but really how do we do this in an ethical way and combine what's going on. So come on in and let's chat. Thank you, Jan, for joining, and thank you, ICOM and Andreas for the invite here. We really appreciate being part of your organization.
Yeah, same here. Thank you, James. Thank you, Kelly. And thank you, ICOM.
Thank you, Kelly.